Hello students, my name is Abhaynath Thakur. I am working as guest assistant professor in a college. The name of the college is BSRS College. Today we are going to read Indian Civilization and Culture. Mahatma Gandhi is popularly known as Bapu. He is considered as father of the nation. He dominated Indian politics from 1915 to 1948. He led the freedom movement of India from 1915 to 1947. In Indian Civilization and Culture, Gandhiji says he compares Indian civilization with Western civilization. He says that Indian civilization is based on spirituality. Indian civilization is based on self-denial. Indian civilization is based on restriction of wants. But Western civilization is based on materialism. And if we try to imitate Western civilization blindly, it will only result in unhappiness for us. Gandhiji emphasizes on understanding the path of duty. Now, coming straight away to the chapter, I am going to read the first sentence of your chapter. I believe that the civilization India has evolved is not to be beaten in the world. Dear students, this is the first sentence of one of the most original thinker of the last century of the world. I believe that the civilization India has evolved is not to be beaten in the world. And why is that? Because the roots, the sound foundation of Indian civilization, Gandhiji talks about the seeds sown by our ancestors. Ancient Roman civilization, the Greek civilization, it all vanished. But India, look what is written in the chapter. India remains immovable, and that is her glory. Gandhiji says that India remains immovable, and that is her glory. Gandhiji defines civilization. I am reading your text, the text. Civilization is that mode of conduct which points out to man the path of duty. Look at the emphasis on the path of duty. Dear students, if we try to follow the path of duty, the world would become a better place. The world would become a better place to live in. The Gujarati equivalent for civilization means good conduct. Our ancestors knew that happiness is essentially a mental state. The more we get, the more we want. Mind is a restless bird. The more we get, as I told you, the more we want. So, our ancestors emphasized on contentment, happiness. It is not necessary that a person who is rich is always happy and a person who is poor is always unhappy. Happiness, as I told you earlier, our ancestors emphasized on the fact that it is a mental state. Our peasants, they use the same kind of plug for years and years. They use the same kind of cottages. They were happy. There was no life-corroding competition in the past. Gandhiji says that cities are places where vices flourish. Cities are places where the rich rob the poor. India is a country where the kings are considered inferior to fakir. This is the essence of Indian civilization, where spirituality is given the topmost priority. Gandhiji talks of the home rule in the past, where wakils and baids did not rob people. Common persons, the common people lived independently and followed their agricultural profession. This was the home rule, the concept of home rule. Now, I'm reading the text. The tendency of Indian civilization is to elevate the moral being. This elevation of moral being is very, very important, because unless and until our moral beings are elevated, how can we become happy? That of the Western civilization is to propagate immorality. Western civilization is godless. Indian civilization is based on faith in God. Indian civilization is based on faith in God. Gandhiji says that it is not as if he hates the West. He has learned so many things from Western literature. But from what he has learned about the Western culture, about the Western civilization, he has finally come to the conclusion that we must avoid it at all cost. This is what Gandhiji says. I'm again reading the text. The distinguishing characteristic of modern civilization is an indefinite multiplicity of human want. Gandhiji says that our desires multiply, and this multiplication of human want characterizes the modern civilization. On the other hand, the ancient civilization was based on self-denial. It was based on restriction of want, restriction of desire. If we crave for more and more and more, this would result in unhappiness. We are in danger of bartering away permanent good for momentary pleasure. When we are living a life of self-denial, we get permanent pleasure. When we are living a life of self-denial, we are satisfied. But when we run after desires, we become unhappy. However, in the blind imitation of materialism, we put ourselves in the danger of bartering away permanent good for momentary pleasure. Materialistic life can only give us momentary pleasure. Spiritual life can give us permanent pleasure. There is something in Hinduism, Gandhiji says, I am reading the text, there is something in Hinduism that has kept it alive up till now. There is something in it. The basic philosophy, the essence of Indian civilization, how strong it is. Where is Rome and where is Greece? These civilizations vanished. But India is still living. The text says, yes, I see here ancient India is still living. Ancient India is still living. Because the roots are so strong, because of the sound foundation, because of the whole concept of self-denial, because of faith in God, ancient India is still living. Our civilization, I am reading the text, our civilization, our culture, our Swaraj depend not upon multiplying our wants, self-indulgence, but upon restricting wants, self-denial. Gandhiji says that Swaraj depends upon self-denial. It doesn't depend upon multiplication of human wants. It depends upon self-denial. The essence of Indian philosophy, self-denial. If we try to imitate the West blindly, as I said to you earlier, we will only make us unhappy. This would be like running after the golden fleece. It is going to result in unhappiness for us. Gandhiji says that we must remember the path of duty, service to humanity. That is going to help us. This will help the world a better place to live in. Dear students, read this chapter again and again so that you become aware of the main points. You should discover the Gandhian thought all by yourself, because that is going to help you immensely, and this will also help you to write answers. Please try to write down a summary of this chapter. This will help you to write down the answers in the examination. Thank you.